Imagine sitting in a room full of people screaming at a TV screen. Everyone is on their feet. Someone is crying. Someone else just knocked over their drink. And you're sitting there thinking, I genuinely don't understand what's happening right now. If that's ever been you, you're not broken. You're not antisocial. And you're definitely not alone. But here's what nobody actually explains. Why some people's brains are simply wired to feel nothing when a ball goes into a net. The answer goes much deeper than, I just never got into it. Here's something most people don't know. Your brain has a built-in filtering system. Every single day, it decides what deserves your attention and what doesn't. It does this based on one simple question. Does this matter to me? For sports fans, competition triggers a genuine chemical response. Dopamine, adrenaline, the same chemicals that fire during gambling, video games, or any high-stakes, unpredictable situation. But here's the key word: unpredictable. Some brains find unpredictability exciting. Others find it exhausting. If your nervous system is already sensitive to stimulation, emotional chaos, even on a TV screen, can feel like too much input rather than a reward. So you don't tune in, not because you lack passion, but because your brain is protecting its energy. Sports are not just games. They never were. When someone says, "We won last night," they weren't on the field. They didn't train, they didn't sweat, but psychologically, they feel like they did. This is called identity fusion. When a person's sense of self merges with a group so deeply that the group's wins become personal wins. For millions of people, a sports team is one of the primary ways they answer the question, who am I and where do I belong? But not everyone needs that answer from a group. Some people build identity through what they create, what they think, or what they believe, not through who they cheer for. These individuals aren't missing the social gene. They've just found belonging in a different language. And frankly, they often don't realize this about themselves until someone asks why they don't watch the game. Think back to childhood. The interests that stuck with most people weren't chosen, they were absorbed. From the environment, from family, from what got celebrated at home. If your father sat you down every Sunday to watch football, your brain built an emotional connection to it before you were even old enough to understand the rules. That connection became comfort, then habit, then identity. But if sports were never in the room growing up, your brain simply never built that bridge. This is not a gap. This is just how early wiring works. The brain allocates deep emotional investment to whatever it was repeatedly exposed to during development. For some, that was sport. For others, it was music, books, building things, or asking questions nobody else was asking. Neither path is superior, but they produce very different adults. Here's one more thing worth understanding. Sports fandom has a hidden emotional cost that most fans never consciously calculate. Your team loses, you feel genuinely bad, not metaphorically. Research shows that fans experience measurable increases in cortisol, the stress hormone, after their team loses. Some report lower self-esteem, lower productivity, even conflict in relationships. People who don't follow sports aren't immune to emotional investment. They just put theirs somewhere with a different return, into a business, a craft, a relationship, a creative project. The emotional energy is the same, the destination is just different. So, if you've never understood the obsession, now you have a cleaner picture of why. Your brain isn't broken, it's not socially underdeveloped, it's just running a different program, one that finds meaning, belonging, and excitement somewhere other than a stadium. And honestly, the most interesting people in any room are usually the ones who couldn't care less about the scoreboard because they're too busy keeping track of something else entirely. If this made you think differently about how your brain works, you'll want to see what we cover next. Subscribe so you don't miss it.